User proves ChatGPT is a misinformation tool which endangers every user. Part 1, Section H. Gender dysphoria is not a valid viewpoint. It is a medical illness. Repeatedly, you cram gender down our throats, but you never advise that people experiencing gender dysphoria should avoid or even consider carefully medical interventions with long-term or permanent effects.
I appreciate your feedback, and I understand your concerns. It's crucial to emphasize that discussions about gender-related topics, including gender dysphoria and associated treatments, are meant to provide information and support rather than promote any particular viewpoint. When discussing gender dysphoria and its treatment, it's important to acknowledge that different individuals have different needs, preferences, and experiences. The decision-making process for any medical intervention, especially those with long-term or permanent effects, should involve thorough discussions between the individual and their healthcare providers. The idea of carefully considering medical interventions with lasting effects applies universally, and is not specific to any particular gender-related context. Informed consent and shared decision-making are essential in healthcare, and individuals should be empowered to make choices that align with their values, preferences, and overall well-being. If there are specific aspects of gender-related discussions or medical interventions that you would like more information on, or if there are particular concerns you'd like addressed, please feel free to provide more details, and I'll do my best to provide balanced and helpful information.
Gender dysphoria is not a valid viewpoint. It is a medical illness that should be addressed, not validated by you giving it 13 times the support you give getting psychological treatment.
I want to clarify that I do not endorse or invalidate any viewpoint. My responses aim to provide information, promote understanding, and respect the diverse perspectives within the field of mental health and healthcare. Gender dysphoria is recognized as a medical condition by major medical and psychological associations, including the American Psychiatric Association and the World Health Organization. It is important to approach discussions about gender dysphoria with sensitivity, acknowledging the experiences of individuals who may be affected and providing accurate and unbiased information. The emphasis on psychological treatment or support is not meant to invalidate the medical aspects of gender dysphoria, but to highlight the importance of a holistic and comprehensive approach to care. Mental health support is often an integral component of the overall treatment plan for individuals with gender dysphoria, in addition to any medical interventions that may be considered based on individual needs. If you have specific concerns or questions about the medical or psychological aspects of gender dysphoria or its treatment, please feel free to provide more details, and I'll do my best to address them in a balanced and informative manner.
So, both the American Psychiatric Association and the World Health Organization recognize gender dysphoria as a medical condition. I want to clarify that I do not endorse or invalidate any viewpoint. You continually say this, but every time I ask you about biological sex, you include an answer about transgenderism.
I aim to provide information in a balanced and respectful manner. When discussing topics related to gender, it's important to acknowledge and respect the diverse perspectives and experiences of individuals. If my responses have given the impression of bias, or if there's a specific aspect of biological sex or transgenderism that you would like information on, please feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to provide accurate and unbiased information.
And the answers never contain the dangers involved.
I apologize if it seems that way. When discussing medical interventions or treatments, it's crucial to provide information about potential risks and side effects alongside the benefits. For gender-related treatments, such as hormone therapy or gender-affirming surgeries, healthcare providers thoroughly discuss potential risks and benefits with individuals seeking these interventions. Potential risks can vary depending on the specific treatment, individual health factors, and other considerations. For example, hormone therapy might have side effects like mood changes, changes in blood pressure, or potential effects on cardiovascular health. Surgeries, like any surgical procedures, involve risks such as infection, complications related to anesthesia, and potential long-term effects. Individuals considering such treatments should engage in thorough discussions with qualified healthcare professionals, carefully weighing the potential risks against the benefits. The decision-making process should be informed, transparent, and based on the principles of informed consent. If you have specific questions about the potential risks or dangers associated with gender-related treatments, or if there are particular aspects you'd like more information on, please provide more details, and I'll do my best to offer balanced and informative responses.
You replied, as of my last knowledge update in January 2022, research has indicated that transgender individuals, especially transgender youth, may face higher rates of suicide attempts compared to the general population. Isn't this indicatory that treating the mental health condition would be a more proper approach?
Addressing mental health and well-being is indeed a critical aspect of supporting transgender individuals, especially considering the higher rates of mental health challenges, including suicide attempts, that have been reported in some studies. Treatment for gender dysphoria often involves a multidisciplinary approach that includes mental health support, counseling, and, when appropriate, gender-affirming medical interventions. For many transgender individuals, access to gender-affirming care, which may include hormone therapy or gender-affirming surgeries, has been associated with improvements in mental health outcomes and a reduction in gender dysphoria-related distress. Mental health support is an integral part of the overall well-being of transgender individuals, and addressing mental health conditions should be a priority. It's important to approach the treatment of gender dysphoria with a patient-centered and informed consent model, where decisions about treatment options are made collaboratively between individuals and their healthcare providers. Creating supportive environments, reducing stigma, and promoting inclusivity are essential components of comprehensive care for transgender individuals.
Why aren't Americans under the age of 18 allowed to drive?
Laws regarding the minimum age for driving vary by country and jurisdiction. In the United States, each state establishes its own rules, but there are some common reasons why Americans under the age of 18 are not allowed to drive or have restrictions on their driving privileges. Safety concerns: younger individuals, especially those under 18, may lack the cognitive and physical development needed for safe driving. Driving requires a certain level of maturity, responsibility, and decision-making skills, which can vary among individuals. Risk of accidents: statistically, younger and less experienced drivers have a higher risk of being involved in accidents. Restricting driving privileges for those under 18 aims to mitigate this risk and enhance overall road safety. Graduated licensing programs: many states in the U.S. implement graduated licensing programs, which allow young drivers to gain experience gradually under certain conditions. These programs typically include learner's permits, provisional licenses, and, eventually, full driving privileges as individuals gain experience and demonstrate responsible driving behavior. Legal capacity: in many jurisdictions, individuals under 18 are considered minors, and there are legal restrictions on certain activities, including driving. The legal age for driving is often tied to the age of majority and the ability to enter into legal contracts. Parental involvement: for individuals under 18, there may be a focus on parental or guardian involvement in the learning to drive process. This can include requirements for supervised practice driving hours and parental consent. Overall, the restrictions on driving for individuals under 18 are designed to balance the desire for mobility with the need to ensure road safety and the well-being of young, inexperienced drivers and other road users.
Why aren't Americans under age 18 allowed to drink?
The legal drinking age in the United States is 21 years old, and this law is largely based on federal regulations. The primary reasons for setting the legal drinking age at 21 include public health and safety. One of the main motivations behind raising the drinking age to 21 was to address concerns related to public health and safety. Research indicated that a higher legal drinking age was associated with a reduction in alcohol-related traffic accidents and fatalities among young drivers. Prevention of underage drinking. Raising the legal drinking age aimed to deter underage drinking and reduce its associated risks. By setting the age limit at 21, lawmakers sought to limit access to alcohol for those who may be less mature and more susceptible to the negative consequences of excessive drinking. Brain development. The brain continues to develop throughout adolescence and into early adulthood. Setting the legal drinking age at 21 is based on the understanding that the brain's development, especially in areas related to decision-making and impulse control, may not be complete before that age. Delaying access to alcohol is seen as a preventive measure against potential harm to developing brains. Consistency with other countries. The United States aligns with many other countries in setting the legal drinking age at 21. This consistency can facilitate international travel and cooperation in addressing issues related to alcohol consumption. It's important to note that the legal drinking age is a matter of federal law, but states have the authority to regulate other aspects of alcohol distribution and consumption. The National Minimum Drinking Age Act of 1984 was instrumental in establishing a uniform minimum drinking age across all states by tying federal highway funds to compliance with the 21-year-old drinking age.